What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Bricks and Toys. And if you guys are watching this, I want to say, well, welcome back. It has been at least a whole month since our last review video. If you guys watched my last video, I kind of caught you guys up of what was going on and all of that good stuff. And then I said that we'll be back with our Venator, and well, here we are with the Venator today. And even after making that video and you guys watching it and getting a lot of good support from it, which I just got to say thank you, it still was really hard getting back in front of the camera to do this video today. It's not like a creative thing. I am very busy in life at the moment, and to find the time has been quite tricky. Today, I just wrapped up on getting my wife's art studio ready for her to move in, and after 2 years of sitting on all of her art supplies, she now has a place to put it all in our home and get herself back to her personal business and her dream of doing art projects of, like, I think she's going to do decals before she did resin art. It was a lot of really cool stuff that she makes. My dream is to do YouTube and to make Lego videos and all of that. And her dream is to be an artist of certain sorts and a crafter. And it's really nice to know that as of right now, in this small apartment, her and I both are living our dreams while still managing life. And that's really where I've been the last couple of days, or should I say week at this point, is just making sure that she's all ready and what I promised her 2 years ago is finally ready for her to move into. Hey, it's like they say, it's better late than never. But anyway, guys, to today's video, we are finally getting to the first review video that I was supposed to do in February. And I think this is actually going to come out on the 2nd of March. So, yeah, yikes. Anyway, this is the Venator-Class Attack Cruiser. It's an 18 and older set. It is set number 75441 with 643 pieces. The box is our traditional 18 and older style box. Black rebuild bottom because of Star Wars. We have our name up here in the corner. We also have our Lego logo, Star Wars logo, all of that. And then the set is imposed right there on the box. And man, this set looks really freaking good. Now, it does have the paywall of $79.99 from your local Lego store. So we're not going to really talk too much about the fairness of price because I'm pretty sure that has gone out the window at this point, especially for Star Wars sets. So instead, at the end of this video, when we have it all done and we have our experienced, I'm just going to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down at that price point if it's worth it or not. But anyway, going back to the thought of the Venator-Class Attack Cruiser, I am very excited for this 18 and older set because I used to have the UCS Venator. I love that set. I waited in line. I think it took 2 tries to get it. I missed on release day by like 3 people. And then I had to go back on a Monday and try again, and I got it. I made a bunch of videos about it. I love that UCS set. And then that was one of the first sets to actually have a fallout when I had to move from Vegas to Sacramento. So that was one of the first ones that we sacrificed because I'm looking at this 870 square foot apartment or 50 square foot apartment, whatever it is, and I'm looking at a Venator the size of my work desk, and I'm like, huh. Yeah. Well, that's going to be the first victim of this whole separating of the households. And then for the last couple of years, I've had the thought of, like, do I go back and get the play scale? Because I really want a Clone Wars Venator in my collection. I'm just like, what do I do? And then Lego finally answered the question January 1st with our newest of the Starship collection, and that's with this set. So this is on like a whole new level of meaning for me. This is like above the price tag of $79.99. This is just about getting back a little bit of a taste of something that I wasn't able to keep a long term. I really hope, now that I'm really thinking about this as of the current situation of Lego Star Wars, that they do take the time to do an 18 and older Starship collection of the Razor Crest. Not the new one, but like the one that we had in the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. That new play scale ship is not where it's at for me. It looks really stubby and chubby, and it doesn't look all that good. But I just lost my UCS Razor Crest. That was the last Star Wars UCS ship to be a part of the fallout of us separating houses and continuing to try to make it work, because I can store these things on my shelves all day long and not really the big freaking versions. And when you continue to think about it, we can definitely get TIE fighters, interceptors, we can get the X-Wings, we can get Y-Wings. This Starship collection is definitely going to go a very, very long ways. And I really hope that they keep doing it, unlike how they took a break from the dioramas and such. So let's continue to go around and take a look at this box. On the top of the box, we have a 1-to-1 of one of the elements. It looks to be mostly printed elements on the set. We'll find out here in just a moment. Set names in different languages, Star Wars Lego logos, traditional stuff. On the side of the box here, we have the country of origins and our do not eat it. And then on this side of the box, we have a front shot of the set looking very good in its smaller scale. I actually think the smaller scale actually helps the set a lot, kind of like the midi scale Falcon. It was so freaking good, and I really hope the same result for this guy. Coming to the bottom of the box, we can see our Legal Eagles app information, recycling information, barcode, all of that good stuff. And then to the back of the box, where we get our meat and taters of the ship. We have our logos, we have the back shot now of the set, and I can tell you one thing, I don't think these thrusters are going to sag like they did on the UCS version. Down here, we have a image of the ship, likely from the opening scenes of the movie, or maybe an episode of the Clone Wars. This set is going to be about 6 inches tall, and about 12 inches in length, so the perfect size to go on your shelf. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about the Starship collection and the Clone Wars before we go into the unboxing of the set. First thing I want to talk about is how last year we got the little bit of a teaser of the Venator-Class assault ship. When they came out with this one, I think it was last year, I was really hoping that they would, in at least the future, very soon, come out with the Venator-Class attack cruiser, to which they did. I think these two are just going to look phenomenal together. I'm super excited for it. But then, when they first did this series of Starship Collection, we got the Invisible Hand, which is also a Clone Wars era ship. So now we have 3 Clone Wars Starship Collection ships, which are just amazing. The only thing that would really amp this up just a little bit is maybe, just maybe, it would be cool to take the Yularen minifigure from the UCS version and pose it with the ship. And what I mean by that is, if you take a look at my Invisible Hand, I went out and I got a General Grievous minifigure to grace the bottom of the set. These sets have these little studs on either side, and they're covered up with these little radiator grills. Not sure why they're there, other than just maybe greebling for the base. But you can take those grills off. Mine are stored safely on the bottom of the plaque, because there is some empty studs on that part. And in this one's particular case, we do have the 25 years of LEGO celebration that was going on when we originally got this. But then I got my little Grievous chilling out right next to it. I really like this concept and design. I really was hoping that maybe more people would catch on to this idea and do it, and maybe give LEGO the idea of including a minifigure, especially when these sets are $80. But as we can see, that idea, no one ever really caught on to it or ever really thought of it. Who knows which one's which? But I will definitely consider continuing to pair minifigures with these sets. I just haven't been doing it because, well, for one, money, and for two, I put them up high, and ADHD mind, out of sight, out of mind. But I do have 3 of the originals, and I put a Han Solo with the Millennium Falcon, and I put a Princess Leia with the Tantive 4, and now we have Kylo Ren's shuttle last year that could take a Kylo Ren. I'm not quite sure who would be a good pair with the Acclimator, but you know what? A quick Google search can answer that for me, or you guys can answer that for me in the comments. So anyway, guys, that's our Clone Wars ships, but now let's go into the unboxing of this set. So we are going to have 2 punch tabs. We're probably only going to need 1. Yep. and we're gonna get this thing opened up, and there we go. You guys are getting the first look inside. What do we have? Plastic bags, good amount of dead space. Let's do our pour. And there it goes. It's kind of stuck. There we go. That was actually kind of fun. Our first Lego pour in a month. That means for the first time in a month, I'm building a Lego set. Wow. Finally, time to have some fun after crunching numbers and being my own personal accountant / nightmare for a long time. Okay, guys, I'm just going to say we have about 5 bags here. Let's count them out. We got bag 1, we got bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, and a bag 5. So we do have 5 bags total with this set. I don't see any stickers, nothing falling out of the book, nothing hanging out, and we have no external parts floating around the box. Double check, yes, no stickers, no external parts. We got our book. Book is a nice satin finish. We have a nice up-close front shot, which looks incredible. If you gave me probably about 8 beers and flashes in front of my face, I would think that's the UCS version, and then I would notice that it's printed elements, not stickers, and go, oh, damn. And that's not $600. So anyway, guys, going into the actual book, we do have information about the Venator, probably stuff we've already covered with the UCS version, but just in case, I will read this over again and enjoy just a couple pages of it. There ain't too much, because by page number 8, or more like 9, we are on bag number 1, getting it built. To the very back of the book, on page 151, we do finish off with 194 steps. So definitely a few hour build during the day, and that's exactly what this is going to be, because it is my day off. I am happy to finally get to build a Lego set after a month of just some hardcore serious stuff. And well, without further ado, I'm going to get to building, and you guys are going to see the review video right here. Will you take a look at these ships? Don't they just look incredible? Man, I do have to say, there is a lot of good starships in the Clone Wars era and the prequel eras and whatever you want to call it. And man, when you put them in the Starship collection, it just seems to make good sense. So we're not talking about the Acclimator nor the Invisible Hand for this next few parts of the video, but we are focusing on the review of the Venator. But before we get into the actual details of the Venator, which, you know, it doesn't open up or do anything, so it's not too much, but still some good stuff, I do want to take you inside of the book, which I have right here, to talk about 2 of the Easter eggs hidden within the set. The first Easter egg reference that's buried within this set is going to be these 2 studs with these tile dots on top, with a note that says, an Imperial officer briefs a clone trooper on an upcoming mission. What is odd about this reference is I was not aware that Imperial officers were in the prequel or Clone Wars era. I thought they were only in the original saga. I really think Lego meant to put a naval officer instead of a Imperial officer. Obviously, the all-white would be the clone, and then the light and dark bluish gray would be the Navy officer and not the Imperial officer. Not quite sure what they're doing with this, but yeah. But then we do have one more Easter egg, which I think I can actually just crack open the set just by pulling this off right here. Yes, I can, and you can see that. The yellow and the little burgundy is a representation of Obi-Wan and Anakin's Jedi starfighters in the hangar bay. So that is our 2 Easter eggs hidden within the set. One accurate and one not so accurate. But now, let's talk about the actual set. So let's begin our review of the Venator at the base. The base is exactly what we would expect from past sets we have built. Just black brick put together in a really unique way, just to hold the set up. Nothing too special. We do have those radiator grills that I did mention earlier that you can remove, put down here, and add a minifigure or 2 to your Starship scale set. Now, looking at the bottom of the set, we actually have printed pieces on either side on the bottom, which is a really cool detail because you don't really have to do too much on a bottom of a Lego set, but they did here, and I like the little greebling of the red and all of that, and the finished work down here towards the back thrusters. I think this looks really nice from the bottom. Going back on our actual stand, we are going to now go down the side. The greebling on the side is very moderate, but it is kind of technical on how they had to wrap from here to here and over to here. And we got some really weird blades that finish it in here, as well as the translucent blue for the hangar bay. Then over here we have a blaster to fill in for that empty space, as well as a radiator grill. So really interesting detail to fill in that wedge in the middle. Then we have a little greeble piece with a hook sticking out right there. Continuing to go around our crack, in the back, we have a nice finished off piece right here. I think that looks really nice. We also have our thrusters, which is made of barrels and more translucent blue elements. Coming down here to the middle, we have some nice slope work with a hinge plate and all of that to make that back look really nice and finished. This set is phenomenally finished, I do have to say. On this side, it's more of the same thing, same techniques to make the thrusters, finish it off with the piece there, and as well as using the blaster, radiator grill, translucent blue 1x2 tile, as well as the technical pieces to make that with the hook. Coming down to the front, it is pretty much all closed off, finished off rather nicely with these two modified 1x2 plates. Coming to the actual nose of the ship on top, this is the piece that we did pull off to show the little Easter egg of the Jedi Starfighters underneath. We have two printed tiles on either side, here and there, which is awfully nice. We did get that on last year's Acclimator, as you can see here, but we didn't get it on the Invisible Hand, so at least we're getting printed elements at the price point. I think LEGO knew we would probably burn the house down if we did not get printed pieces at this price point. I really love the use of the bucket handles for the blaster turrets on the side. That would be a really interesting thing to try to recreate in a midi scale size, and I think the bucket handles are just a genius idea and a perfect approach to do that. We do have two more printed pieces on each side with the stripes here as well as here. And then coming down to this side, it's more of the same thing with those bucket handles for the turrets. And then coming up to the bridge of the ship, lots of little greebling with the radiator grills, open studs, and those little tiles that you see there. Lots of angle plates and these smoothed out 1x2 slope pieces to finish out the bridge. Honestly, guys, this thing is really freaking nice. If size does not matter and detail does, this is a perfect substitute for the UCS. I don't really see the need to buy a gigantic Venator when you can have this. I really think that this ship is done really well. It's really nicely detailed. I really struggle when you just look at it as a whole to find a reason for the giant UCS Venator, especially when you could take this set, match it up with these two other sets, knowing that they could make other Clone Wars era sets and still have plenty of room left over, where the Venator UCS would take up all of that space. So I really do like the ship, but let's come out, wrap up the video, and discuss whether it's worth it with just a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. And the verdict is, and that's honestly what I think about it, it is a solid thumbs up. We just have to get to the point of understanding that LEGO Star Wars is getting to be a lot like Disneyland, which is ironic because Disney owns Star Wars. You go there, you empty your bank account, and then you're just left with a little memory. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. But how much is that little memory worth to you? And when I look at this and I think about how much I love the Clone Wars, the prequel saga, I just really think that this is a perfect ship to have in your collection. And if it is at such a high price point, it is what it is. LEGO is not going to stop, but at least we can all agree that from where we started to where we have been, at least we're getting printed elements for that price. So at least, that does work. I guess there's a lot of ways to skin the cat here and look at stuff, but yeah, that's my response on it. Definitely one worth checking out, and it's one that if you don't have the UCS Venator, well, you can now have this for a lot less money, so that's one way to look at it. Or if you do have the UCS Venator but would like to use that space to maybe include some other ships, well, now you can sell your Venator and now just have that Venator instead and be able to put the other ships in there and maybe recreate some Clone Wars prequel era scenes. One of the last things I wanted to kind of touch in here about these sets and stuff is when I was talking about the pairing of minifigures, I was having a little bit of a thought as I was building this, and I do have to say Grievous is obviously perfect for this one. I think Yularen would have been pretty good for this one. But some people say that the Acclimator was really popular around Geonosis and all of that. And maybe the perfect minifigure for this one, maybe one I already have. I just have to see if I have any good Battle of Geonosis type clones to pair with this ship, because that's pretty much what this ship was used for, was to transport clones, and one of the most notable was the Battle of Geonosis. And with that, guys, I don't have anything else to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it with a friend. Hit the thumbs up, the like button. Most importantly, drop your comments down below. What do you think about the Venator? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's worth it in the comparison of maybe a UCS Venator? Let me know. Also, let me know what your ideas of good minifigures to pair with these sets would be as well. And on that one, I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. You all have a good one.